WWE doesn't want you to see this. Every superstar signs a contract with the company, but the Anoa'i family, they signed contracts that WWE buried, contracts that gave them power no other wrestler ever had, contracts that could have destroyed the entire company. And when one man threatened to expose them all, WWE erased every trace. This is the story of the Forbidden Bloodline contracts WWE tried to delete. Roman Reigns, The Undertaker, Yokozuna, Rikishi, The Rock. What do they all have in common? Blood. The Anoa'i family tree runs deeper through WWE than any Hall of Fame induction could ever capture. But hidden beneath the titles and the WrestleMania main events were documents that gave this family something far more dangerous than championship gold. A legally binding veto clause. The veto clause was simple. Any Anoa'i family member holding a championship could veto a creative decision they disagreed with. Storyline direction. Opponent selection. Even title changes. If the tribal chief said no, it didn't happen. Think about what that means. Every single major bloodline storyline you watched existed because they allowed it to. And here's where it gets darker. In 2024, a redacted internal WWE document surfaced during a civil lawsuit filing. Page 14, Section 8, a contractual addendum that legally bound WWE Creative to obtain what the document called lineage consent before making any changes to championship lineages involving Samoan talent. Lineage consent, two words that rewrite everything you thought you knew about WWE title history. From Yokozuna's reign in 1993 to Roman's historic 1,316-day championship run, every single decision was filtered through a contract WWE prayed would never see daylight. Now let me take you deeper. The legal framework of these contracts wasn't just about creative control. There were financial accelerators, championship bonuses that compounded, multiplied. One former WWE legal consultant described them as generational wealth mechanisms disguised as talent contracts. That's not an exaggeration, that's a quote. The Rock. Dwayne Johnson, the biggest movie star on the planet. When he returned in 2024, the contract he signed wasn't offered to him. He presented it. His return wasn't a negotiation. It was a demand. And within that demand sat the same clause his grandfather fought to protect decades earlier. But every secret has a price, and the man who discovered the price was Rikishi. In 2000, Rikishi was positioned for a main event push. The "I did it for The Rock" storyline made him one of the most talked about heels in the company. But behind the curtain, something was happening. A conflict over merchandising royalties, a dispute over creative direction for his sons. The Usos were young, still developing, and Rikishi wanted guarantees. He sat down with WWE officials, pointed to the clause, and reminded them exactly what his family's signatures meant. Within 3 weeks, his main event push evaporated. Coincidence? Rikishi has never spoken about it publicly. He never will. Because the contracts don't just grant power, they demand silence. Every Anoa'i family contract contains a non-disclosure provision that survives termination, survives retirement, survives death. You can hold a WWE championship for 4 years. You can headline WrestleMania, but you will take these secrets to your grave until someone breaks the silence. And that's exactly what almost happened in late 2024. A former WWE legal department employee filed a whistleblower complaint. The complaint alleged that the company had knowingly maintained dual contract systems, standard performer agreements for the roster, and what the filing called a shadow framework for legacy talent. The filing was sealed within 48 hours. The employee retracted their statement, their social media was wiped, their LinkedIn disappeared. It was like they had never existed, but the damage was done. The filing number is public record, case 24 CV 73821. You can look it up, but you won't find the contents, because someone made sure of that. And that brings us to the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns, 1,216 days as champion. The 4th longest title reign in WWE history. But the number that matters isn't 1,316. It's 0. 0 people have ever seen his full contract. Not a single wrestling journalist, not a single industry analyst. When Roman signed his new deal in 2022, WWE's PR team called it unprecedented. They didn't say why. Now you know. Anoa'i family members occupy positions across every major wrestling promotion: WWE, AEW, independent circuits. The bloodline doesn't end at the company's door, it flows through the entire industry. And wherever it flows, the contracts follow. So the next time you watch Roman Reigns stand in that ring, the next time The Rock's music hits, the next time an Uso superkicks someone's head off, ask yourself a question. Are you watching a wrestling match, or are you watching a family exercising the power they wrote into contracts WWE was forced to sign? Contracts WWE tried to delete, but they can't. Because copies exist, copies that prove everything I just told you. Copies that one person somewhere is waiting for the right moment to release. And when that moment comes, the entire wrestling industry changes forever. Comment, contract below if you want the full document leak. Follow WrestleVault, one buried secret every day that WWE doesn't want you to know.